Hello Panda Warriors and welcome back to another video. I'm not sure if you can hear them, but the puppies are playing in the background, so ignore all the growling sounds. They're just playing, I promise. So one side myself that I haven't necessarily shown here on YouTube is that I really like games. And I'm not talking to Stardew and Skyrim, which I do love of course, but I am talking board games. Especially for my mom, who is constantly complaining whenever I bring home a new game or bring over a new game. It's like, oh, another game. But I absolutely love board games and I love learning about new ones, and I love playing board games, whether it be with just a couple of people or with a big group. So because I love board games so much and because I have all these board games that I have knowledge of, I thought today I would share some of them with you. So today I want to share my top 5 board games. They are in no particular order. Some of them are for a couple people, some of them are better played with a bunch of people. So like I said, these are not in any particular order, but I'm going to start off with my number 1, which is Everdell. This is probably more of my recent board game collections that I've received, and it was actually a birthday gift from my siblings. Everdell is this kind of like little resource gathering type of game where you play as a little woodland creature of sorts that is trying to make its way through all the different seasons. You build a village, a town, and collect different members of the town which have different perk points and that do different things. The different villagers and the different achievements you get throughout the seasons all kind of accumulate into becoming points that you then can use as like if you won at the end of the game. It can be played actually solo, which I've never done before, but I would like to do sometime in the future. It can also be played with 2, 3, and 4 players. So 4 players max, but you can play it by yourself, which is kind of fun. It's a kind of at your own pace kind of game, so just because somebody else moves into the next season and has collected and done all the things that they can do, doesn't mean that you necessarily need to move into the next season. So it's kind of at your own pace in some aspects, but it really ends up being pretty like on key. You know, if I move into the next season, you tend to move on to the next season shortly after. This is definitely a game for those of you who are willing to take the time to read cards, to read instructions, to read rules. But once you really get the game under hand, like you understand what you're doing, it is a lot of fun. The board is so cute, and there's this tree that you get to construct to put up that all the little characters sit up on, and it's just really cute. So Everdell is definitely something that I would recommend. All right, my second one is called Secret Hitler. Now, I know, by the title, it maybe doesn't sound quite right, but so here's the whole entire thing. There are 2 different teams on your thing. If you've ever played Werewolf, it kind of gives off Werewolf vibes where there's like a good team and a bad team, but in Werewolf, I feel like there's like 1 or 2 people are good, or like 1 or 2 people are bad and everyone else is good. It's kind of like a little bit more evenly split. So this can be played with, so this one you're going to need a little bit more of a party for. It's going to need 5 to 10 players. So you have 2 sides. You have liberals and you have the fascists. And so people at the beginning of the game draw these cards that tell you who you are, if you're a liberal, if you're a good guy, or if you're a fascist, if you're a bad guy. And then one of the fascists is the Secret Hitler. And so you kind of go through these different rounds, just kind of enacting policies, electing presidents and vice presidents, and trying to figure out who the bad guys are and who the good guys are. For a good guy, your goal is to get rid of Hitler and the other fascists and to win the game with all the liberal cards. And then if you're a fascist, your goal is to keep yourself hidden, of course, and then to enact the most fascist policies. As you'll probably recognize from a couple of the games on here, I really kind of like deception games. I'm not a very deceptive person probably in real life, at least I don't think I am, but I really liked Secret Hitler. I really like the kind of that figuring out the who's who, and if you end up being one of the bad guys, I really like is keeping it secret and keeping it, quiet from those of people who you're playing with. So Secret Hitler is definitely a game I would also recommend as well if you have a little bit of a bigger party, 5 to 10 people. Number 3 is also a bit of a deception game. It's called Something Fishy. Now, I don't just like it because it's deceptive in some aspects, but there is definitely an element of that. What I really like about this one is that you get to learn like cool, interesting, fun facts about like things that have happened in the world, I guess. So Something Fishy is best played with 4 to 10 players. For this one, someone holds up a card and asks a question. They don't know the answer to that question, hopefully, unless they're really, really smart when it comes to trivia like this. They ask a question, and then everyone else kind of they have either 2 colored fish. Either they have a blue fish or a red fish. And if you have the red fish, you tell the truth. But if you have the blue fish, that means you have to come up with some sort of lie to the question. An example of this would be maybe someone holds up a card and reads it out loud that says, this town has a town in this county in this place elected a non-human mayor, what animal or what thing did they elect as mayor? And then, of course, on the other side is the actual answer, but me as the reader would not be able to see that answer. And then my various people would go around, and maybe someone says cow, someone says pig, someone says a rock, someone then tells me the truth. I don't know what the truth is. This is just an example, but they tell the truth, and then I have to figure out who is lying. And hopefully I'm able to pick out which one's telling the truth and leaving them for last. And then I get points for being able to correctly eliminate people, and other people get points for either fooling me into thinking that they are telling the truth when they're not, or into telling the truth. I really like Something Fishy. Like I said, you get to learn some cool, interesting facts, but also it's just like a fun game in general. So yeah, Something Fishy is my third pick. Number 4 is called Herd Mentality. So for this one, there is a question that is asked, and then players have to write down an answer that they think the majority of the group will answer. So for example, the question might be, what is the best type of cookie to go with milk? And your goal is to write down the answer that you think that the most people in the group would write down. And if you're the odd one out, then you get this little stuffed, not stuffed, but like a stress ball material cow, and you're like the odd cow out. And so your goal is to like get rid of that cow so that you can get points to win the game. This one you can have quite a few people. It's best played with 4 or up to 20 players as well. It's not a very long game, so you can play like multiple rounds, tends to take like 15 to 30 minutes. This is actually the only game that I will mention today that I don't personally own, or that a family member in my immediate family does not own. So I played it once at a Christmas party with some other family members that they had gotten the game recently, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I have seen people play it before, like online, and I just really like the concept of trying to figure out, well, what's the majority of people going to say? So yeah, number 4 was Herd Mentality. Number 5 is a cooperative game that I play fairly often with my mom and my sister. It is called Ravine. So Ravine can be played with 3 to 6 players, and the whole entire idea is that you and the people you're working with, the people that you're playing with, have crash landed on a deserted island, and you're trying to survive until you are, of course, rescued. And so you get a deck of cards, and you can decide how many nights you would like to play. You shuffle all the cards up, or as many cards as you'd like to shuffle up, and you also shuffle in the rescue card. That's the card that means that you got rescued. And so you put that in there, then shuffle it up, and then as each night goes on, you are faced with different types of tasks. You can hunt, you can gather things to kind of help you through these things. So sometimes there's wild animal attacks, sometimes there is weather phenomenons that you have to have collected resources before to like all heal up your little hearts as like your stamina that you can use either to defeat one of the night events maybe, or to forage in the morning when it is the daylight hours. I really like the fact that this game is cooperative. And so it really just kind of allows you to work with the people that you're around you, and just kind of, work together to create a common thing just to kind of get towards the end of the game and to be rescued. There's also these fun, like I said, there's like these little heart tokens. I think you get 6 of them. And then you have to keep your hearts all like full, health points all filled up. But if you drop them down to either 0 or 1, I can't remember now, I'm blanking which one number it is, but either 0 or 1, you get to draw like a madness card. And so then something like happens. Sometimes you have like secret missions that you have to complete in order to like regain hearts. Sometimes you have to do like certain challenges in order to kind of regain back in consciousness or whatever. But it's a lot of fun. If you're into cooperative games that you don't want to necessarily compete with the people that you're playing with, I would definitely recommend Ravine. So those are my 5 board games I would recommend. There was, of course, some honorable mentions that I didn't get a chance to name, not because I don't love them, of course, because I love a lot of board games, but these didn't make them into my top 5. Some of my favorites that I also want to note, just real quick, if you're looking for other board game suggestions and you're like, I've seen all these, I've played all these, is Disney's Seen It. I used to play this one all the time when I was little. I was a bit of a Disney girly. So I really like Disney's Seen It. So I really like, that's one of my other honorable mentions. Exploding Kittens, I've played that one for many, many years. I really, really like it. It's always like one that you can teach other people really, really easily. Wavelength, that's another good one where you kind of have to figure out, like it's got a scale and you're trying to match up with where someone might think something is on the scale. Like when the questions might be like bad habit versus good habit, and then there's a pendulum on like which you need to give a clue, and it's a lot of fun. But Wavelength is also one of my honorable mentions. And my last honorable mention I want to throw out is Hues and Clues. This one is like color guessing game where you give like little hints to figure out which color on a wide scheme of colors that someone has drawn. So it's a lot of fun as well. You need to be able to see color really, really well though for that one, of course. All right, so that is where I'm going to wrap this video up. Again, these are just 5 of my favorite board games. So if you have, I know it's September, so we're really, well, we're kind of near Christmas, but we're not really near Christmas, but whatever. If you have a birthday, if you have Christmas gifts coming up, if you have a white elephant and you're looking to do board games, these would be some of my suggestions that I would definitely recommend if you're a bit of an early planner when it comes to the holiday season. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, I've been really enjoying these kind of talking kind of videos because it's giving me a chance to kind of share some of my passions with you guys, like board games and Pokemon, as you've learned so far. But if you ever have any ideas on what you'd like me to chat about, feel free to leave those in the description down below. If you have not already, please make sure you're hitting subscribe. I've recently made it to 700 subscribers, which is wonderful. But I would like to one day maybe make it to 1,000. So if you're not already, please make sure you're hitting subscribe. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment section down below, like I said, maybe what your favorite board game is or what you'd like to see me do when it comes to talking videos in the future. I apologize for Dottie barking at the puppy, and I will see you all in the next one. All right, bye-bye.